Hello, welcome to Walsh's Playbook. That's former Raiders offensive coordinator Tom Walsh. I'm Grant Cohn. We got a big week. We've been helping the Niners weekly prepare. We got to do our best this week. We didn't help them at all last week, but before we get into what went wrong against the Seahawks and look ahead to the Eagles game, we got some injury updates. Trent Williams did practice today. Ricky Pearsall did not practice today. Ricky Pearsall having a lot of trouble with this PCL injury. Trent Williams looks like he's probably on track to come back. What do you think of this update, Tom? What do you think?
Well, it's a plus. Obviously, they have Trent Williams back. But my concern is, without Pearsall at wide receiver, there's nobody in the passing game outside of Kittle and McCaffrey who give any cause for concern to the Eagles. Their secondary it's like Seattle last week. They just squatted on everybody and just matched up, and the safety sat up there, and they didn't get anything up the field vertically. They had that one sail route to Kittle to the right. That was the only pass that went more than like 10 to 12 yards beyond the line of scrimmage the whole night. And now they're facing the same explosive situation. Play. Yeah. You're not going to win with those kind of stats.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, they were counting so much on Ricky Pearsall this year. He's not. I don't think he's going to play. We'll see. So their number one receiver is Jawan Jennings, who's good, but he's almost more like a tight end. It's like you got a real tight end, another tight end, and a running back, and that's your passing game. That's why Ricky's so important, and that's why they gave so much money to Brandon Ayuk. I know we're not supposed to mention Brandon Ayuk anymore. He's he who must not be named, but they gave him that money for a reason. They were counting on it. Just a couple of months ago, they were hoping he would come back, and it would be kind of weird or ironic or something if they ended up losing in the playoffs because they don't have wide receivers.
That is the most glaring weakness of their entire offense. Granted, we've always talked about the offensive line and the lack of the great run blocking, and also some questions about pass protection, especially with the right side of the offensive line. But, they don't have a wide receiver who puts the fear of God in the defense. When you don't have that element, it's like all of a sudden their whole offensive package has been reduced to playing in your backyard rather than playing on a field that's 100 yards long. And, it's small ball. They don't have anyone to be explosive and dynamic in the passing game. There's no threat of a quick six at all.
I don't want to get ahead of myself because we have a huge game this weekend, but Jennings is a free agent this offseason. Pearsall is coming off a pretty disappointing season. How do they approach the wide receiver position this offseason? Overhaul it?
I think you have to. The bottom line is, I think they've got to draft a receiver early. I don't mean in the first round. I mean, they got, from my perspective, if I were drafting for the Niners, I'd be taking a linebacker in the first round, a wide receiver in the second round, and then go from there. I know they need a pass rusher, but linebacker is of a greater need. Even with Fred Warner coming back, they still need a real linebacker. I look at the kid at UCLA who you and I both liked last year, who went to Cleveland. That was the guy that you and I had pointed out that would be the perfect second-round choice for the Niners last spring. And then the Browns took him at the top of the second round, and he was gone. But they need a kid like that to pair alongside Warner. And then they need a wide receiver. I mean, I'd be taking a receiver in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely. They can't go into their 2026 season with Ricky Pearsall as their number one. Are you disappointed that if he won't be able to play, or is that just the nature of these PCL injuries?
I hate to say this. There are track guys who are football players, and there's football players who are track guys. And for the most part, the guy who's a track guy trying to play football struggles with the physical stature of play in the game of football, whereas the football player running track adapts to football better because he has the body, the torso, and is used to the stress of football, as opposed to a track guy trying to play football. And I don't look at Ricky Pearsall as a football player. He's a track guy who's trying to play wide receiver, and that doesn't bode well. I would never take a guy like that in the first round or second round. I want a football player, not a track guy.
Fair enough.